You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters. Well, I wanted to get this out early this morning so people could have a sigh of relief because we got an injury update. Of course, Kelsey Mitchell left the game last night. The Indiana Fever almost pulled that game out. I did a reaction video when they were still in the third quarter, and they actually came back, made it a 92-91 game. It was a completely meaningless affair, and the starters were playing for reasons not really known to man, to be honest. But when it comes to Christy Sides, we don't never know exactly what she's doing and why she's doing it. And that's not such a good thing all the time. So we do have an injury update, and it is good news. The other thing I've got is ESPN is back to their Indiana Fever Caitlin Clark hating ways after they picked her for the Rookie of the Year in a first-team All-WNBA. Now they're shitting on the Indiana Fever, for lack of a better way of putting it. But just to give it a little more, their playoff chances, most notably against the Sun, which I think they actually have a shot of winning the series. It's the next series that I've got a major problem with, unless somehow, some way, Diana Taurasi wakes from the dead and they beat the Minnesota Lynx. I'm talking about the Mercury, and I'm not too sure that's really going to happen. So here we go. Kelsey Mitchell's injury scare. You see this. Nothing major. Okay. Christy Sides was holding her breath when she saw Indiana Fever's leading scorer on the ground under the basket. She should have been. I mean, seriously. Christy Sides' coaching job should have flashed by her eye sockets. Okay. Kelsey Mitchell, who averages 19.6 points per game, got tangled with a defender in the first quarter in Thursday's regular season finale. She was slow to get up off the ground as play moved down to the other end of the court, and when she did get up, she was limping. Mitchell still managed to play, shaking her left leg out when she had a chance for about a minute longer until a dead ball was called. Erica Wheeler subbed in, and it became a nightmare from that point out. It's one thing clear. This team cannot make it without Kelsey Mitchell. All right? She's an instant scorer, and they simply do not have a bench deep enough to take that heat. And in other words, you don't have a sixth man coming off the bench that can come in and drop 25. And we know Kelsey Mitchell can stack up and rack up the points very quickly. Also, her presence can free up Caitlin Clark to a certain extent to take some shots, right? It also allows for a lot better creation from the point guard at this point. So, Mitchell didn't get back in the game, but it was precautionary. Yeah. The Fever had locked up the number 6 seed no matter the result of Thursday night's game versus the Mystics, so Sides didn't want to take any more chances. Well, the chance you did take, one could call irresponsible. Kelsey is good, the Fever coach said. Once she went down, I just made a decision right there. She was going to get ready for Sunday. Good. That's probably what you should have done with everybody, but I understand there is a business aspect to this. All right? And I'm not sure people understand this. This is not a league where you're going to get ratings and you're going to get attendance no matter what. If Caitlin Clark comes out of that game or whatever, it's a business issue. That's one of the things when you have the most popular player, and one of the most popular players in sports, maybe the most popular player in sports, if you don't play her, oh, you got some outrage on your hands. So anyway, some of the starters got in. It still wasn't a meaningful game at all. Quote, I think it was just more like throughout the course of my left side, Mitchell told the Indy Star, but I didn't think anything major. I think we have to be precautionary. It's nothing major. So she's going to play in this game, and I was being precautionary, staying in the right mindset about the focus of the group, and that's what's needed. The decisions made by personnel and it was cool to support my team. So now the starters did keep playing for a while after that. And in case you're wondering, just so we can come over here and look, and I don't know what's going on with the hell with it. So the Connecticut Sun is who they're going to end up playing. Marina Mabrey, she's certainly a threat that the Sun have. You know, that would have been a really good acquisition for the Indiana Fever as well. You know, that's an instant shooter they added. And I believe I saw yesterday, because I almost included Marina in a video. I almost made a Chicago Sky video. And she's scoring over 15 points a game with the Connecticut Sun. So the Sun started the season 9-0, then lost their first game to New York on June 8th. Connecticut's performance has been a little more than uneven, but all of the 12 Suns' losses are to playoff teams. In case you're wondering how they match up, their first matchup, this was the first game of the season. Remember, because the Connecticut Sun actually sold out the arena, I believe, for an opening game for the first time ever, and it was Caitlin Clark's debut. So what does that tell you? The Sun won that game 92-71. The teams met again 6 days later. It was a much different game. Yeah, the Sun barely pulled that one out. It was 88-84. Connecticut won big again over Indiana, 89-72, and then the Fever actually won 84-80, which came August 28th, and we know the Sun was a much better the Fever was a much better team the second half of the season, particularly after the first 12 games got out of that murderer's row schedule they started. They got it out of the way. We're a different team than we were to start the season, side says. We're ready, prepared for Sunday. Are you sure? The Sun can play some hella defense, and we've got to be ready. They're going to make everything hard. And look, there's one big storyline coming out of this, because this, of course, has one of Caitlin Clark's biggest rivals in it. Dijonai Carrington will be, of course, defending her. She's a really good defender. She also has a really terrible attitude. All right? And she's become one of the chief rivals and instigators of situations against Caitlin Clark. So we're going to see how this goes, right? It's going to be a tough series, but I think they can beat the Sun. It's the Minnesota Lynx that I would be more concerned about from a matchup standpoint. I think they got a chance against the Sun. By the way, ESPN does not think they have a chance. They're disrespecting the Fever at a gargantuan level. Right here, Sun in 3. This guy or girl has the Sun in 2. That the Fever's not even going to show up for the series. And this guy or girl has got the Sun in 3. And you might be wondering, damn, don't you care about the writers' names? Nope. Not when they work for ESPN, I sure don't. You would be mistaken if you think. You would be punctilious in assuming that. Yeah. So, God, I love Kingpin. But anyway, there it is. ESPN disrespecting the Indiana Fever. I think they got a shot in this series. I mean, honestly, I think they got a chance. I mean, I don't think this is – it's going to be the Minnesota Lynx. If the Lynx come out of the Mercury series, that's going to be the issue. Now, if something crazy happens and Diana Taurasi wakes from the dead, that dinosaur can open her coffin and spring out like The Undertaker. And anybody that watches wrestling knows what I'm talking about. Along with Brittany Griner, if they can wake up, Copper is known to have some random monster games, and they beat the Lynx. Guys, I don't know about you, but how entertaining would a Phoenix Mercury Indiana Fever semifinal be? I think that would be really interesting, and the Fever could beat the shit out of them. It's the Lynx that's going to be a real tough matchup. It really is. They play some insane defense, and I don't like Cheryl Reeve. I don't, but she can coach. I mean, that's I don't want to act like she can't. It's the other stuff that makes me want to projectile puke Team America style everywhere. Tell me what you're thinking. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.